Guys, shout hello in any language you know.
Ciao.
Can't hear you.
Ciao. Salut.
Bonjour.
Okay, that's much better. Now let me introduce myself. My name is Bella. I'm 6 years old. I can speak 8 languages. I'm really fond of learning idioms. So today, I will teach you some of the idioms in 8 languages. Are you ready, guys?
Yes.
So, let's get started. English. Lights on, but no one's home. This means you can say this about someone who is a bit strange. Look at this girl. She has green hair and a kiwi in her mouth. She looks like lights on, but no one's home. She looks weird. Russian. Не говори гоп, пока не перепрыгнешь. Это значит, что сначала надо сделать что-то, а потом уже радоваться. The English equivalent is don't count your chickens before they're hatched. Spanish. Aunque la mona se vista de seda, mona se queda. Eso quiere decir que no intentes aparentar lo que no eres. Al final siempre serás tú mismo. The English equivalent is, you can put lipstick on a pig, it is still a pig. Look at this. In the Spanish idiom, we're talking about a monkey, and in the English idiom, we're talking about a pig. French. Pour casser le noix, pour manger la noix, il faut casser la coque. Cela veut dire que pour avoir quelque chose dans la vie, il faut travailler d'abord. The English equivalent is no pains, no gains. Look at this coconut. Look at this coconut. It is so yummy. But to open it, you need to be strong. Italian. Siamo tutti sulla stessa barca. Questo vuol dire che tutti abbiamo lo stesso problema o situazione difficile. The English equivalent is we are all in the same boat. Look at this stormy weather. Look at these clouds. Maybe the boat will flip over, and these have the same problem. German. 2 Fliegen mit einer Klappe schlagen. Die Bedeutung ist, man erledigt 2 Dinge mit einer Aktion. The English equivalent is to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. The German idiom is about 2 flies, and the English idiom is about 2 birds. Mandarin. 活得牢，学得牢。它的意思是学无止境，到了老年也要不断学习。The English equivalent is one is never too old to learn. Look at this old woman. Look at this old lady. She is learning how to use a computer. Arabic. الصديق وقت الضيق. هذا مثل عربي. وهذا يعني إن كنت لدي صديقة حقيقية هي لم تتركني في الأشياء السيئة في المشاكل وفي المرض. The English equivalent is a friend in need is a friend indeed. Look at this dog and look at this lamb. The little dog is feeding the lamb. The dog is the lamb's best friend. Thank you for your attention. I hope you remember all the idioms. And to finish my performance, I will, guess what? Sing my favorite song in Arabic. دجاجة الكبيرة تعيش في الحظيرة تبيض كل يوم بيضة كبيرة تبيض كل يوم بيضة كبيرة في كل صباح اليوم أنا أعطيها ومرة تسلكها ومرة تقليها ومرة تسلكها ومرة تقليها.
Hello everyone. Today my presentation is going to be about bringing up a multilingual child, and I'm going to talk about the experience we had with Bella. With Bella, we started from the very first day of her life. I was lucky to get to know about the possibilities of early language learning before my own child was born. As a student at the university, I met my French teacher who was dedicated to the early language learning. One day, she let me watch a video of her 7-year-old child who could speak both French and Russian really fluently. He was brought up in a Russian family with no French native speakers in it, but still he could speak both languages fluently. I was very impressed with this. She told me about the methods she used with her son. Basically, she just talked to him in both Russian and English in everyday life, and she started from the very first days of his life. When I got to know about this, I said to myself, when I have a child, I will do the same thing to her. Infancy is the most natural time to learn languages, and second thing is that babies can learn just like adults, or even better. The only thing that makes a baby different from an adult is that he or she doesn't have a life experience. It means when you teach babies, you just have to adjust the program of learning to their abilities. I mean, you have to facilitate the program of learning. But you should be ready that the results of this won't be instant. When babies learn their home language, there is always a silent period, and the same thing happens with all the other languages. When they are little, when they are younger than 1 year old, they just don't have any physical abilities to let you know that they understand a lot. During this time, you will have to talk to them in a radio mode. It's when you talk to your child like a radio without waiting any response. But there are lots of advantages of beginning early. The first thing is that young children are self-motivated to pick up language without conscious learning, unlike school children and adults who themselves probably learned English academically at a later age through a grammar-based textbooks. Children also have the ability to imitate pronunciation, and you have to keep in mind that the earlier you expose a child to a foreign language, the better his or her pronunciation will be. Another thing is that young children work out the grammar rules for themselves, and young children learn through play-like activities, which creates a really positive attitude towards language learning. And the most important thing for me is that multilingualism has a very positive effect on the child's overall brain development. With Bella, we began with only 2 languages. I just wanted her to be fluent in both Russian and English, and I didn't think about 8 languages at that time. I had read a lot about bilingualism, and I was really impatient to start. So on the second day of Bella's life, I started speaking English to her. We started with short sessions about 15 minutes long, and I gradually made our English sessions longer, and when Bella was about 1 month old, I started alternating languages every other day. When she was about 10 months old, it was obvious she could understand both Russian and English at the same level. She would react to all the simple requests like clap your hands, wave your hand, put your hands up. And since I could speak a little bit of French, I decided it would be a good idea to add French to Bella's program, and it was an instant success. When Bella heard me speaking French for the very first time, she got really excited and interested. And the next time when I started speaking French to her, she got really happy. She started jumping in her little bed and squealing with joy. I felt that she loved the sounds of the new language, and she also loved the fact that it was something new. It was so impressive that I decided to start working on my French to be able to talk to Bella. It was rather tough for me because I'm not very good at French, but I was really eager to open this window of opportunity for her. These are some of the tips that I followed with Bella while teaching all the languages to her. The first thing that is really important is no mixing up the languages. I always made sure that the languages were not mixed. I even didn't let the other members of the family speak Russian while we were speaking English with Bella. These days we can switch from English into Russian, we can have a short dialogue in Russian and get back to English again. But when she was young, I didn't let myself do that. Another thing that is also important, if you want all the languages to be at the same level, what you have to do is to keep all the languages in balance. To do that, I made Bella go through the same everyday situations in all the languages. I tried to speak to her in 3 languages in all the everyday routine situations like waking up, taking a bath, feeding her, going for a walk, playing with her toys. And later on, when she started talking, she was about 2 years old, she started talking in all the 3 languages, and she was able to express herself in all those everyday situations in 3 languages. Another thing that is really important is to be a good language role model for your child. I always try to speak clearly to Bella with good use of grammar. For example, in French, when I wasn't sure that my grammar was right, whether the sentence was correct, I preferred to say nothing. The child needs a good range of vocabulary too. So I tried not to repeat the same words all the time, but use a variety of words like synonyms and antonyms. The next thing I'm going to talk about is early reading, because there is a really strong connection between reading and speaking. There is a close link between learning to talk and learning to read. When a toddler can read, he is able to see and hear the words at the same time instead of only hearing them. That means that the child uses 2 senses of perception to understand new information. They are sight and hearing. It makes the perception much more effective. So if a child can read at an early age, it's much easier to expose him or her to a new language through reading. What I noticed with Bella, it's much easier for her to memorize a new word if she has a chance to see its written form. Another thing that is also important is the ability to learn independently. If a little child can read, he can learn a lot of new words himself and not only from books, because there is lots of text information around us written on tags, posts, posters, traffic signs, and so on. So very often Bella learns new things because of her ability to read. So with Bella, we used Dolmens' method of early reading. Glenn Dolmen is an American scientist in the field of child brain development. He came up with an idea that the most natural time to learn reading skills, just like language skills, is during infancy. He suggested that children should be taught reading using whole words method. When you teach your child using Dolmens' method, he usually goes through 4 steps. The first step is recognizing words on flashcards. We started, as I have already told, we started using Dolmens' method with Bella when she was 5 months old, and I did it in both Russian and English. I just had to show her special large-sized flashcards with words on them 2 or 3 times a day. By the age of 10 months, Bella had mastered about 50 words in both languages. She couldn't talk at that age, but she could point her finger at things when we referred to them. For example, when Bella was shown the word hand written in Russian or English, she would touch her little hand. If she was shown the word head, she would touch her head. The second step is learning to read short phrases. When a child can recognize many individual words, it's time to combine words into short phrases. I made special Dolmen-style books with 2- and 3-word phrases, which represented a combination of words Bella was familiar with. After that, when a baby is able to recognize enough words, for Bella, about 300 words were enough. For some children, sometimes it's 1,000 words. It depends. But eventually, they will figure out which letter makes which sound. And this is when the baby starts reading new words, even if he has never seen them before. At the age of 2, Bella was able to read books with new words she had never seen before, and moreover, she could do it in 3 languages, Russian, English, and French. The fourth step is reading independently. From day to day, a child's reading skills get better and better. Gradually, they start reading longer words and longer sentences, and the speed of reading grows faster too. At the age of 2.5, Bella could read with ease, and she would read books all by herself. Another benefit of Dolmen's method is that once the child gets the hang of reading in one language, he is able to extrapolate and apply what he has learned to other languages. So the child who can read in one language can learn reading skills in other languages very quickly. It took Bella about 1 month to learn reading in Spanish, German, and Italian. And I'd like to emphasize that she learned reading very naturally without any effort. And now here is a video of Bella reading in 6 languages at the age of 4 at the Russian TV show.
По дороге вернусь, мама обеспокоенно спросила: «Ну и где же ты была?» «Я хотела узнать про любовь», — ответила девочка. «И теперь я все знаю». But one evening, crack, a jagged line appeared down the side of Mr. Rabbit's perfect speckly thing. «Oh, my whiskers!» he gasped in horror. «Don't worry, we'll soon have you mended. À présent, c'est l'heure du goûter. Rien de tel qu'une bonne crêpe après la pêche. On prend aussi plein de photos pour garder des jolis souvenirs. Attention, tout le monde dit oui, c'est dit. Clic, clac, la photo est dans la boîte. Das mit der Elfe vorne drauf. Auch Laras Decke ist rosa. Schläft Lara? Nein, sie träumt mit offenen Augen. Me llamo Alex y no sé si me vas a entender, pero odio las plantas. Es horrible. Llega la hora de cenar, tú estás con mucha hambre. Y resulta que toca comer plantas. 一天，小猴子下山了，他看见了一片秘密地，地里的玉米有大有多，太棒了！
are about to teach your baby read with using Dolmens method, there are some useful programs that can help you, because Dolmens method is really effective and very beneficial for children, but it's a lot of work for a parent. So there are basically 4 programs that you can use. There are 2 DVD programs, which are Your Baby Can Learn and Twiddling, and there are 2 interactive applications that you can buy through App Store. They are Little Reader and Monkey Junior. All of these programs use an interactive multisensory method of learning. It means that the meaning of each word is explained with various videos and photos, providing that the child not only reads, but really understands the meaning of each word. So, teaching your baby to read using Dolmens method usually involves creating a lot of self-made materials. Apart from making word flashcards and Dolmens-style books, I also converted cartoons into so-called video books. I used my video editing program to put some text data into the cartoon so that Bella could enjoy watching her favorite cartoons and practice her reading skills at the same time. Those video books worked really well with Bella. She liked repeating sentences from the cartoons, especially the ones that she could see in the written form. So it was really beneficial not only for her reading skills, but also for her language skills. That's why I made about 100 of those video books in Russian, English, and French. And I also shared those video materials on the internet and received lots of positive feedback from other parents who also taught their children using Dolmens method. So when Bella was 2 years, 7 months old, it was obvious that she had great interest in language learning. That's why we decided to add another one to our program, and I wanted someone that was totally different from the languages she had been studying before, and that's why I chose Mandarin. I got Bella a native Chinese speaker to teach her Mandarin. She came to our house 3 times a week and usually spent about 2 hours with her playing and interacting with her in Mandarin. I thought it would be rather difficult for Bella, but in fact she picked up vocabulary really quickly, and she started speaking with short sentences after a month of her classes. She showed a great interest in the new language, and at the same time, at that time she always chose to watch cartoons in Mandarin and played a lot of games in Mandarin on her iPad. She would even start talking Chinese to me, and she talked Chinese to herself while playing with her toys. Here is a video of Bella in the beginning of her Chinese classes.
能不能找到
鸡
选对了
啊，很好。
能不能找到
玩具？
嘿，玩具
好棒呀！
啊，很好。
记得把你的玩具收好哦。
能不能找到
猪？
好棒呀！
啊，很好。
猪的体型是不是圆圆胖胖的？
我吃香蕉。
What have you said?
A banana in Chinese.
That means a banana in Chinese. And how do you say I'm eating an apple in Chinese?
What's pink?
And how do you say this is a rabbit?
这是兔子。
这是兔子。How do you say this is a dog?
这是狗。
Yeah, 很好。How do you say this is a cat?
这是猫。
这是猫。How do you say this is a pig?
这是猪。
这是猪。And can you say I'm laughing in Chinese?
我笑。
我笑。Can you say I'm sleeping in Chinese?
我睡觉。
Huh?
我睡觉。
Oh, that's too difficult for me.
Yes, at first I wanted to learn Chinese to get together with Bella to get her used to the new language, but very soon I realized it was rather tough for me, but not for Bella though. When Bella was 3 years old, it was obvious that she had a special talent for learning languages. That's why one by one we started adding more languages. And at 3 years old we added Spanish, which was really easy for Bella because it's very similar to French. She started saying short sentences in Spanish on the second day of her lessons with a native speaker. I want to say that we always started learning a new language with reading using Dolmens method, providing that she could learn spoken language and written language at the same time. Bella was already familiar with the Latin alphabet from English and French, so she only needed some time to understand reading rules in Spanish, and it took her about 2 weeks to figure out all the rules, and she started reading in Spanish with ease. When she was 3 years, 2 months, we added German. To introduce Bella to German language, I let her watch special videos, which I consider to be fantastic vocabulary builders. They are Little Pim, Dina Linga, and Professor Totor. After about 2 weeks of watching those videos, her first German teacher came, and she was really surprised to find out that Bella could already read in German. It turned out that Bella had learned reading in German by watching Little Pim video with German subtitles. It took Bella a little bit longer to start speaking in German because she had only 1 German class a week. In other languages, she usually had 2 or 3 classes a week. But I want you to keep in mind that Bella doesn't have classes in the traditional sense. All the teachers come to our house to play with Bella and to have fun with her. They can play hide and seek, go for a walk together, sometimes even take a bath together, read books, play with toys, like everything. And teachers never force Bella to do anything. Bella usually chooses what she wants to do today, providing that she really enjoys all of her language classes. When Bella was 3 years and 4 months old, we added Arabic. And once again, before starting classes with a native Arabic teacher, I let Bella watch vocabulary builders in Arabic. After about a month, we found a teacher for Bella, but we were not very lucky with her. The personality of a teacher is what really matters, because learning languages is all about communication. So it's really important that a child should feel really comfortable with the teacher. In Bella's understanding, her teachers come to her as her friends, and if it is really like that, the classes will be a success. For me, a perfect class is when I hear Bella laugh from her room. If I hear her laughter, it means it's a good language class. We live in Moscow. It's a big city with lots of teachers available, but not all of them are experienced in working with little children. And it usually takes some time to find the right person. But luckily, after 2 months, we found another Arabic teacher, and she was just perfect. And with her, Bella started speaking Arabic after about 2 months. Now I would like to talk about how we create language learning environment for Bella. The first thing, which is really important, is building a home library in each of the languages. Books are the main source of new vocabulary for Bella, so it's really important to have suitable books at hand. That's why everywhere we go, we usually come back with a suitcase full of books. We have already visited some books in Austria to buy some German books for Bella. And I also ask my friends to bring us books whenever they travel abroad. It's also important to watch cartoons in all the languages, and I usually tend to authentic video materials, meaning that cartoons are not dubbed into foreign language. And we also try to make our home language rich. Bella has lots of electronic toys and devices that speak different languages. I mean, talking pens and games and iPad educational applications and so on. We also regularly arrange fun trips with her teachers to create an even more positive attitude for communication in different languages. For example, we go to the oceanarium with the Spanish teacher, we go to the museum with our Chinese tutor, or we go to the amusement park with our German teacher, and we even sometimes take our teachers together when we travel to the seaside. We also try to arrange language classes for a group of children who are also fluent in different languages. We have some friends who also bring up their kids in a multilingual environment. They often come to our house to have classes together with Bella, so she has regular classes with children who can speak other languages. And the last thing is that we try to link language learning to some interesting activities. Bella does lots of interesting activities in different languages. She has cooking classes in French and Arabic. She learns to roller skate with a tutor of Spanish. She visits classes in the English drama school. She has art classes in German and English. So these are normal activities for a 6-year-old child, but in a combination with learning languages. Here I have a video of Bella cooking in French with her French teacher. Bella is really fond of cooking.
Waouh, ça c'est magique. C'est moi qui fais. C'est magique. Qui va laisser la cuillère en bois? C'est moi.
C'est chez les plus grands, t'as tout appris ça.
Je ne veux pas toucher. C'est petit tout, c'est moi qui ai un coquin.
Oui.
Laisse-moi faire. Non, laisse-moi.
T'appuies pas sur, t'abîmes pas le gâteau, il est tout fragile.
Listo. Saturno tiene un hula hula como yo.
¿Quién tiene un hula hula como tú?
Saturno.
Él tiene anillos alrededor.
No, un hula
Un
hula.
hula hula. Mejor agarrarse de aquí. ¿Listo? Y estira.
Uno,
Estírate. Estira, estira arriba.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Con las dos manos. ¿Listo? Y vamos a estirar ahí. 1, 2,
3, 4.
un lado para el otro. Ahora todo junto.
La cola.
La cola, solo la cola. Bien, hacia
Okay, the last part of the video was Bella doing some sports with her Spanish teacher. The last thing I want to talk about is our plans for the future. As a parent, I understand that it's impossible to learn all the school subjects in all these 8 languages, so we have already decided which languages we are going to focus on. And we have chosen Russian, English, French, and Mandarin. We want Bella to be native-like fluent in these languages. So we might choose to study math in English, geography in French, history in Chinese, and so on. It depends on what teacher I can find right now, because it's not easy to find teachers. And regarding all the other languages, we want her to be conversationally fluent, and we are prioritizing Bella's language learning around communication. We'd like to give her the ability to speak with lots of different people all over the world. This is all I wanted to say. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, please ask me. Yeah, sure. She never refuses to speak any language. I mean, she likes all the languages, but it might happen that she doesn't like the teacher, the person. You see, if she doesn't like the person, then she doesn't enjoy the class, and then she might refuse, but she loves speaking different languages. But when we at home we usually speak Russian and English, and sometimes she asks me, Mommy, let's speak English, let's discuss this in English. For her, it's easier to discuss some topics in English, some topics in Russian, because it's very difficult, actually. We try to keep all the languages in balance, but in fact, it's really difficult, so it's like that. She never uses words from different languages in one sentence. But sometimes she forgets some of the words, and then she would just ask me, Mommy, I don't remember this word in English. Can you remind me? I don't remember this one in French. But she realizes that she doesn't remember it, and she won't use a word from other language. That's why I talked about that we made sure not to mix up the languages when she was little, and she's used to that. She knows that it's not correct to mix languages. Because some children, especially in bilingual families, parents tend to mix up languages themselves, and that's why children start doing that. But when you pay a lot of attention to that, they follow this.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming. Thank you.